I see a lot of people maybe that are a little cringy when I see how some of the messaging gets put forth, Khalil. So I thought we might speak to that a little bit. You're a guy that, you're the professional company that I hire to produce my podcast. You do a great job at it. I've learned so much from
Thank
you.
you.
And I know you do this for other companies. So um give my listeners a nice big gift right now and take a couple minutes. What are the tips you'd give somebody that's waking up to this? And I don't just mean doing a podcast. I'm talking about the
Sure.
importance of how you put that message out. What could you offer somebody who's trying to get serious about this?
Well, don't overcomplicate it. I think there's so many tips that we can go through, and I've got some written down here that I'll get through. But don't overcomplicate it. Do something that's feasible for you and that's real for you. You do not need to create a podcast. You do not need to get on TikTok. There are different ways that you can make content, and you have to do what is actually feasible and natural to you. Yeah, you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone a little bit. But if you hate being on camera, that's likely not going to change overnight. So don't start with just getting on camera. Maybe you're just writing emails. Maybe you're um, going in recording audio only because you hate being on video. Maybe you are just going and posting clips. Maybe you like designing cartoons. It could be whatever you want, right? But just be making content of some sort. The other thing is, I think people struggle with the promotion narrative. A lot of people don't like to toot their own horn, and that's fine. But content doesn't have to be salesy. It can be more informative. It can be educational. And a lot of times the best way to make content is not to think about just this massive audience, but it's really to just think about the one person. So think about the customer that you have, or the lead that came in 2 months ago that was really needing your help, and you were able to have a great sales conversation with them that was educational, helping them solve their real problems, overcome the obstacles that they had, understand that their misconceptions and doubts were in vain and that they can actually move forward with this project and it can be a reality. Think about just that one person. Let's call him Mike. Think about Mike whenever you're writing the next social post. Anything that you said from that conversation. A great way to do content, honestly, is, I don't know if you're recording your sales calls, especially if they're on Zoom, if you have a nationwide audience or you're remote, just record those, go back and listen to any advice you gave, and then turn that into a social post. It can be that simple where you're just repurposing what exists. But another,
So can I ask, how many times have I looked at something over and over? I've re-recorded a 30-second clip in my warehouse because I just don't like how it sounds or look. Is it better to be authentic and not perfect, or do you really just try and keep recording until you get it the best way possible?
well, it depends what it is. Is this, you have to think about the shelf life of the content. Is this something that you're going to post to LinkedIn and then as soon as it's out of the feed, it's never going to be really seen again unless someone digs for it?
Great
No,
point.
don't worry about the production value. Don't worry about the mistakes and being perfect. Is this the first video that every single person that visits your website is going to see? Hey, let's make it a little bit more polished because this
Great
is
point.
an asset for the next 3 years, right? So
Yeah.
it just depends on the shelf life and the purpose of the content. If it's just a little company update or a little question that you're answering in the form of video or a post, I wouldn't worry about it. Just be yourself. Ultimately, we're in this really interesting stage of content. It's one of the easiest things for AI to do, and it can do it at a very high level. But it's really the delivery of that content that matters. How are you going to position that content? Who are you speaking to, and how do you deliver it? That's why, I think long form podcasts are so great, is because it gives you an opportunity to speak your mind and to show your expertise in a way, in a delivery that AI isn't doing that very well now. But in terms of blog posts, AI can crank out blog posts in 30 seconds or less that are better than anything I could spend an afternoon writing. And
Interesting.
that makes it very difficult.
Do you
Um,
do you think about the content you're offering? Let's just say it's a social media post. Does it matter which platform you're putting it on?
yeah, absolutely. At the end of the day, content is all about your customer, right? You've got to think about your target audience. If your target audience isn't on LinkedIn, you don't need to be posting to LinkedIn. If you go where your target audience is, it's no different than location, 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 right? Whenever you're setting up a restaurant, you don't want to be out in the boonies where two people drive by a day. You want to be on the busy street corner that people park next to, they walk next to. It's a center of traffic that they see it and they say, "Oh, I should eat there." Right?
Yeah.
Just like being right off of the highway. There's a reason why all of the fast food chains have prime real estate right off of the exit. It's because that's where the traffic is. It's the easiest
S
place to get to. So make it easy
so,
for your target audience to find your content.
I this I don't wanna project my own hangups, if that's the right phrase, but I find so if I think about LinkedIn and I
Sure.
think about, Instagram and I think about Facebook, let's just take those 3.
Okay.
I think about LinkedIn for business, and for me, Facebook is really what my social and my personal is. I know there's people that use it for business and lots of businesses where it is appropriate, but it's not for me. So if I don't
Well,
connect
but you
with a
you have to
great
understand that you're more so B2B. You're selling to other
you're right.
businesses. There are people that work inside
Yes.
those businesses that are on Facebook, but, the other thing that you have to think about is there's channels inside of channels. Like, we've recently had to do a lot of
Okay,
hiring,
okay,
and
Neo, if you're making me take the blue pill to go down the
no,
no,
it's
I
not that complicated, but
yeah,
we recently had to do a lot of hiring, and we have way more success doing an organic, generic posts inside of a targeted Facebook group, a very specific Facebook group, than
mhm,
spending $500 on Facebook ads that's targeting that audience, right? Like
really
10x the amount of applications just by posting in the right group. So
interesting.
essentially, what we've figured out is, and you can run ads to people that are in groups, and that helps. But if you don't have that component of, I know exactly where these people are and they're in that group, then and you just do a spray and pray essentially to everybody on Facebook, you could be missing it out. And you could spend thousands of dollars running ads to, the spray and pray method essentially with your targeting even, but because it's in the context of being in that group and other people are sharing similar things and they go to that group for advice and they have an intent. When people are scrolling through their feed, their intent isn't the same as when they go to a group to see what's been posted recently, right? They're in a different frame of mind. They're scrolling through their feed because they want to see pictures of family or friends and they want to see videos of cute kids and viral videos. They don't want to see an ad for a hiring or for a service that you're providing. But when they go to that group, that's an industry group that's specific to their trade or whatever, that's where they're trying to learn. That's why they're trying to get some information. They're in the frame of mind of work. So, anyways, that's some that's actually a really big point with content is a lot of people treat it like if you build it, they will come.
Yeah,
And you'll find so many people that will have a wonderful podcast or an incredible blog with so much insights, but they only put it on their website. And sure, if they do a really good job of SEO and getting some keywords inside of there and making sure that it's ranking high, they can get some traffic. But they're completely missing out because they've taken this approach of, okay, well, if I write the blog or if I post the video or on Spotify or Apple, whatever, I'll get people should listen. They'll come to me because I have the best content. But it's not the best content that wins. Most times, I mean, it happens where the really good content wins, but it's really the best distributed content that wins. So you've got to make sure that you're getting in front of the right people and go where they are and distribute from there. That's what's going to get you to grow. That's what's going to get more people to see it. That's what's going to really get the eyeballs that you want for your content.